Hello and good day. Mike Adcock here with another update on Tropical Storm Jebi in the Western Pacific. This brief is based on a 9 Zulu JMA advisory package on the 1st of August. That package placed the center of Tropical Storm Jebi 675 kilometers south of Hong Kong, China. Winds are 35 knots, gusting to 50, and it continues to move off to the northwest at 6 knots. Pressure down to 994. There are some indications it may be slightly lower than that. Do have some tropical advisories out as well. Signal 3 for Hong Kong, T1 for Macau, blue typhoon warning rather for Hainan province, and a tropical storm warning for portions of northern Vietnam. Do want to note though, get the latest information specific for your area by getting a hold of your local meteorological agency. Alright, taking a look at the Japanese Meteorological Agency surface analysis, you can see right there is Tropical Storm Jebi. Do have a strong area of high pressure, not really too strong, but it's an area of high pressure nonetheless, south of Japan, and that extends westward, limiting the northern progress of the storm. A little bit of some troughing extending through central Japan. That's helping to promote a northwesterly movement with the system. Looking at the official Japanese Meteorological Agency track, it pretty much continues it off to the northwest, making landfall about this time tomorrow night on Hainan Island, with subsequent landfall in and around the Hanoi area in northern Vietnam, basically between Hanoi and toward the border with China. That's going to be about this time again tomorrow night, or the following night, Saturday on the 3rd. Taking a look in no particular order of some of the regional meteorological agencies. This is a Hong Kong observatory forecast. See, pretty much similar track, again hitting Hainan late on Friday, and then northern Vietnam and around the Hanoi area Saturday evening. Here's the track from Macau. Pretty much same story there. No big deviations. This is from the Korean Meteorological Agency. Again, looking for an impact around the Hanoi area. Shouldn't be very strong at this point. We've already gone through one landfall at this point, so but still bringing heavy rains for portions of southern China or southeastern China and northern Vietnam. Speaking of Vietnam, here is the Vietnamese track on Jebi. Again, really no story there. They're agreeing pretty much near or to the northeast of Hanoi for landfall. Here is the Taiwan's Weather Bureau. And lastly, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. You can see pretty much all in agreement. Everybody's kind of saying the same thing. And that's, you can attribute that to the forecast models. A lot of them you can see is kind of following along with the NavGem. GFDN, on the other hand, GFS, a little bit further north and east, still clipping Hainan, and then moving in basically along the coast of China in toward the Chinese-Vietnam border. Intensity guidance, some slight strengthening in the near term. We've got, again, about 24 hours worth of intensification before landfall in Hainan Island. That's going to cap it, and you should see subsequent weakening from there. Alright, let's take a look at Dvorak analyses. All over the board really again tonight. JMA is going for a final T of 2.0. Pretty weak data T, and I'm a little surprised on that, honestly. On the other hand, the National Weather Service going for a little on the strong side. They used a central cloud cover technique to determine the intensity and position. Doesn't really help to identify your data T, so using the model and using pattern, going with both 3.0, so their final was 3.0. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center they used they're using the convection wrap on log 10. That wrapped around 4/10, so that yields 2.5. The advanced Dvorak technique, for what it's worth, about 3, which would be about 45 knots. May not be that bad of a call, honestly. Taking a look at, this is from about just shy of 5 Zulu microwave imagery. Do have a good area of strong gusty winds to the southwest of the center. Do have quite a bit of 40-knot wind barbs here, so an occasional 45 knotter, especially if you remember the satellite image from earlier. There is some blow-ups of convection. 45 knots may not be a bad call. Kind of removed from the center off to the north, or to the southwest rather. In terms of sea surface temperatures, really at this point, I mean, you're about a day off. There is some slightly cooler waters just to the east and southeast of Hainan, but really shouldn't be a big player. Shear, again, out ahead of the storm, very light shear, less than 10 knots, decreasing actually in some places, so that's really, again, a non-player. Let's take a look at some weather in Hainan province. This is Dishadao, 9 Zulu, northerly winds at 17 knots, under mostly cloudy skies, some light rain showers there, not really reducing our visibility, still a good 26 kilometers. Pressure, though, is down, and this is kind of well removed from the center. I mean, we're still talking about a day out, and our pressure is already down to 994.7 hectopascal. So, for what it's worth, if again looking at the advanced Dvorak technique, looking at 45 knots, it would be in the neighborhood of 992. It's conceivable that the actual pressure may be a little lower than 994. Nonetheless, the main threat of this storm is going to be the heavy rainfall. Again, re-emphasizing Hainan province, southeastern China, as well as portions of northern Vietnam. They've been picking up a couple of tropical depressions already in the month of July, and just a third one knocking on their doorstep. More rainfall, so flooding concerns will again be a concern. Gusty winds, of course, when this thing makes landfall. 40 knots, 45 knots, very, very easily. May even see 50 based on some of that microwave imagery that we're already seeing. So some gusty winds, but definitely heavy rainfall yet again over the saturated soils. That concludes our brief on Jebi today. Of course, get this and more Western Pacific analysis over at westernpacificweather.com, or follow along on Twitter and Facebook. Of course, join in on the tropical discussion at storm2k.org. Follow me on Twitter at SeniorPepper to get updates between videos. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day and take care.